All right, again, I do want to welcome you back to our third day of the Elements of Art. This is for distance learning students 5th and 6th grade. So today we are going to work on the sheet that says color, all right? And we're going to go ahead and do the color wheel, and we're going to do the bottom portion. So this is the sheet we are working on, and when you get done, your sheet is going to look something like this. Okay? So what you need for this is you either need some paints or you need some markers, okay? So in the kit that most of you picked up, there was a red, there was a yellow, and there was a blue watercolor. There should have also been some brushes in the kit. I did not supply water containers because all you need is a little cup to put some water in. And then the other thing you may want to grab is some sort of a palette or basically just like a lid or something to mix your paints on. So you can see my yellow is dirty here. I'm going to show you real quick how to clean these. If they are dirty, you can just take a little bit of water in your paintbrush, and sometimes you can actually just swoop that out and clean it in the water, or you can grab a piece of paper towel and just kind of wipe that. But I'm doing pretty good here by just doing that, wiping it. All right, you will need to also clean your water occasionally, because as we start, we want to make sure that we have clean water, clean brush to get these really nice bright colors. So I'm going to go ahead and start with yellow because it is the lightest color, and I know that my water is fairly clean. So I'm going to go ahead and just dip my paintbrush in the paint. I'm going to get a fairly solid color, but I don't really need to make this entire thing completely wet. And then you are going to paint over your yellow. You may want to even turn your paper and go right along with the edge of your brush like this. Okay? And then once you're done with the yellow, you can move on to the red and the blue. I will tell you down here, you're also going to need a yellow, so every time I do one of my primary colors, I'm going to go ahead and put the color in here. So I'm going to do yellow, and then I'm going to clean my brush and move on to red. Now, if you have this too thin, in other words, you have too much water, not enough paint, your red is definitely going to look more like a pink. So make sure you grab enough paint, and again, turn your paper as needed to get inside the circles, and take your time. All right, then we are going to do blue for the primary color over here. Blue is a pretty strong color. It doesn't take much to just kind of fill it in. And I think I'll go a little bit darker with that. So I'm going to swirl it around. I don't have a ton of water on my blue, which is exactly what I want. Just enough to get it wet. And I will tell you, I'm getting to that point where I'm going to turn my paper just to get the tip right along the edge there. All right, so we're going to fill it in with a nice even layer of blue. Okay, so I've got the primaries, yellow, red, and blue. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix a little bit of blue and red right here to make violet. So again, any sort of a lid, I happen to have this watercolor container here, so I'll go ahead and just use that. I'm going to grab just I'm actually going to start with red because it's the lighter color. So I'm going to just mix up a little bit of red, put it in my brush, and put a pile down. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of blue. My brush was kind of dry there, so I'm going to take a little bit of blue and mix it in. Does not take much blue. And there we go. We have purple or violet. So we'll paint this in here. The other thing I want you to notice that I want you to notice that the purple is directly across from yellow, and that will tell you that that is a complementary color. Okay, that means it's opposites on the color wheel. And so if I go ahead and I say, okay, this is directly across, well, that's what we're doing down here. So since I have this mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and paint this pretty purple or violet in the bottom down here. And since we have the purple mixed up, we're going to add a little yellow to the purple and see what happens. So with a little bit of yellow, I'll just mix this in here. Let me give you a little heads up here. When you mix these, it usually turns to a neutral color like a brown or gray. And you can see that when you mix this yellow and the purple, it turns to brown. Okay, so I'll go ahead and paint that in there. Now you do not have to do these all in the same order. If you want to finish the top part and then come to the bottom, you can. I just wanted to give you a kind of a quick way of doing this since I had all the colors mixed up here. All right, so then I would move on to my other secondary colors, which happens to be yellow and red making orange, and yellow and blue making green, okay? And we have red across from green being complements, yellow being, or excuse me, orange across from blue means that those are the complements down here. So just to also give you a heads up here too, if you're saying, but Ms. Tree, you said we can use markers, I'm going to give you a little quick demonstration on the markers here. If you have some sort of a container or lid to put these on, that would be great, but we'll go ahead and put it on this paper and I'll show you. So I'm going to recommend that you do just that. You put some marker down on some paper. Make sure your brush is clean. My water's getting kind of dirty here, but I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. And because this is a water-based marker, we can actually pick up some of the color. And see, it's mixing on here, but it's not picking up a ton. And we'll see what we get here. We get a really, really light orange here. Okay? If I had something like a lid to put this on, or a piece of plastic, this would actually go a lot quicker. So we'll see if it works on here. I'll be able to pick up more of that marker. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow and I'm going to put a little red. Now let's try it and see if we can actually pick up some more of this. So I've got a little bit of yellow and red. I'm going to mix it on this plastic. Aha! A lot thicker. So again, if you don't have paint, you can use marker for this. Paint is a little easier and will give you a little bit stronger colors, but markers will work also. All right, so just as a review, you are going to finish this worksheet, and you may even just want to stop the video and say, okay, I'm going to use the worksheet she currently has on the screen to get the primary colors, the secondary colors of orange, green, and purple. And then I'm going to do complements, which are across from each other down here, and I'm going to mix them to either get a gray or a brown. You can also see right here that in the middle it says if you put red, blue, and yellow together, you should be able to get gray. Okay? So, again, if you're using marker, I would just do just that. Put a little bit of red down, put a little bit of yellow down. Let's see if we can get this. And this will be the last part of the video. Let's put a little bit of blue here too. Blue's awfully strong, but we'll see what we get for a color when we mix blue, red, and yellow together. All right, so let's mix and mix. I'm getting close. All right, it's kind of a brown, but the more I mix it, it starts to get really light gray. That's going to happen when it comes to markers, but look at that. There is a gray by mixing the three primary colors together. All right, just to wrap it up too, once you've got this done, you are going to submit this to Artsonia. There will be a file that says Distance Learning color worksheet. Take a picture of this, submit it, and you are done for today. This is kind of a nice fun change to actually get a paintbrush. So have fun and enjoy, and we'll see you tomorrow.